candle analysis ongoing, and yeah, what's next? What can we expect for next? Hello Adrian, and welcome back to another episode of the Dang Oracle. It is 7:30 p.m. UTC +8 is the area or the zone, the time zone I'm at. Hope you had a wonderful weekend and welcome. It's the new start of the weekend. It's the beautiful Monday. It's when you wake up in the morning, when you enter trades. This is where all the action happens. Yes, it is Monday. A beautiful start of the week. And we have a beautiful close of the week, and we have a lot to discuss about. Of course, we have the weekly candle close that we were so excited to be looking at. We had a little bit of action this morning when CME at 6 a.m. well, my term started opening. So that was quite interesting as well to be discussing or talking about. So yeah. Hi, Nikolai, Cetric, Jeremy, Lex, Darren, Tina, Darway, Javen, Xendor, and Gita. The hardcore crew is back here in action, and welcome everybody to this episode. So let's take a look on the COVID situation before we move on to everything else, so that everybody is warmed up and everybody is ready to roll. So, hi Val. Welcome to my channel as well. So the US is almost now at hi Hearns, almost at 2 million confirmed cases now, and like I said yesterday as well, Brazil is looking pretty bad. 700,000 people confirmed cases, and Russia as well, 500,000 confirmed cases. Hi Matthias, hi Boone as well. Okay, let's take a look on how it looks on the charts. Let's refresh this one. So worldwide we are at 6.8 million, but we do have a little bit of a downward trend right now, as you can see. Yeah, downward trend. US is mainly the cause. I think it's slowing down a little bit. Brazil is slowing down as well. Something weird going on with this green line, but yeah. Russia is still going up quite heavily, and of course the other countries. India is becoming a really big problem. And Spain and the other European countries are actually starting to slow back down. So we can clearly see like the momentum shifting right now, where the biggest action is in South America and in India. Actually, it's becoming more and more epidemic, and Russia as well. While in the European countries, things are starting to seem like to be slowing down a little bit. Hi, I am Middleton85. Welcome back once again. And yes, the horror. I opened up my fridge today and there was no Gatorade. The shock that I was in, the nightmare, there was no Gatorade in the fridge. So yeah, today we have to be settling for pineapple juice. It is 100% pineapple juice. So yeah, no Gatorade for today. No Starbucks, sadly enough. It is going to be on pineapple juice. So anyways, let's take a quick look on the traditional markets first before we go on to Bitcoin. Traditional markets are doing really well. Let's take a look at the VIX. As you can see, VIX went down more. That means that the S&P went up more. As we can see right here, S&P went up a little bit more as well, and it's forming, I mean, it's just grinding against hardcore resistance, but it's still going up. As you can see, every moving average indicator is just, it just keeps going up. It just keeps going up. And then if we are looking on Nasdaq, of course, Nasdaq as well, as you can see, broke up over the all-time high, and it's making a little bit of a small pullback, but it's still very bullish right away. So very bullish. If you look at it on the daily charts, you can see here some sort of like a shooting star or forming, which is not that great. So let's see how things go after tonight, when the traditional markets open. But to be honest, if we are looking at all these moving averages, it just looks like it wants to be going back up higher. So like I said, if the traditional markets are going up, I am not bearish at all for our Bitcoin as well, as long as traditional markets are going up and don't make that crazy, well, not crazy, but don't make that pullback, then I expect Bitcoin to be basically doing the very, very same thing. So before we go into actual technical analysis, let's do some fundamental analysis, which is economy and some news articles, right? Which is what we usually do on a Monday. Go over some of the biggest news of the market and economics and so on. So first off, let's go to this article. So in the US, millions of Americans are skipping payments as a tidal wave of defaults and evictions are looming. Well, I think it's pretty obvious. A lot of people are now, because they don't have a job or anything like that, they are unable to pay off their loans, their car loans, their credit cards, their mortgage, their house, the rent, and so on. So yeah, it's becoming a really big problem, as you can see right now. 4.75 million homeowners, or 9% of all mortgages, have entered into forbearance plans, meaning they have entered some plan to be paying back their debt in a prolonged duration or a prolonged time. So yeah, obviously the government is doing everything what they can to give them that time, or that bridge that gap, so that they are able to be paying it back in a longer period. But yeah, if the production, or if the unemployment keeps on going, I mean, at one point, it's going to be a very big issues. But as you can see, it's becoming a really problematic issue right now, and yeah, more and more people are unable to basically pay off their debt, and that of course is trickling over to other stuff, which is, of course, as you can see here, the US bankruptcies soar 48% in May. That's insane, right? Like 48% increase in bankruptcies. So companies that companies just are filing an insane amount of bankruptcies right now, because of the lockdown, nobody is able to basically be profitable, right? And you either you have stock, or you have mortgage, or you have rent, you have it's just really crazy. And as you can see right now, landlords that are expected rent payments, as you can see, a lot of rent is not being paid, and that of course has a trickle effect on everything, right? And as you can see here, 722 businesses nationwide filing for 11 protection last month, a yearly increase of 48% from 487 businesses in May of 2019. So as you can see here, not good, guys, not good. Really hope that when things start to open again, that everybody is going to be supporting their local businesses, because I think it's really time to be, I know it's very hard, right? Because people don't have a job, so they don't really have a lot of money, and then you kind of have to be supporting the local shops, like restaurants, or people who have some sort of a shop or something like that, and then it's a really tough situation for everybody. But if this continues, obviously this is going to be a very big problem. Like I said, I still don't think that we will be feeling the whole economic issues or problems this year, because of all the money printing, because of all the support that we're getting. But at one point, when the government is not going to give you a loan anymore, or not going to give you credit delay payments, or this and that, and we still are in a position where you really can't fully work, or the economy is so bad that if you reopen your restaurant and suddenly you only have like 25% of your customers coming in and dine at your restaurant, or you have some laundry shop, and suddenly 25% only come back in to use your laundry shop or something like that. Any business basically, that's going to be a very big issue. And those issues, I mean, that will only, of course the shops are going to be trying to hold on and keep it going for a while, but that won't last that long, right? So I'm still expecting like 6 months or something like that, that most of the bigger companies will be able to be holding on with support and this and that. But I do believe that in 2021 there will be a very big issue if things are not going to come back into normal as soon as possible. So if we don't see a cure or like a decent solution for this, I think that 2021 is going to be a very, very, very hard year for entrepreneurs or shops or everybody who is basically not working online. That's or in the tech business, because the tech business is where the money is at right now. If you are looking at Apple, if you are looking at Microsoft, if you are looking at Amazon, those are actually the reasons that, or Netflix, for example, those are the stocks that are flying to the moon and that are pushing the S&P and Nasdaq basically upwards, because all the rest of the other stocks are trickling, slowly lagging along. But actually, those are the top tech stocks are the ones that are pushing everything up. But like I said, I don't really expect fully this month this year to be like feeling all of that effect, because like I said, there's a lot of support. There are people who are stubborn. Usually when you're an entrepreneur, you're a very stubborn person. I know, because I am one myself. And then you keep on trying, but at one point, if it's not possible anymore, then it's not possible anymore. Just an explanation. Look at the tourist market. I mean, who is staying at any hotels right now? Airbnb. Who is staying at any Airbnbs right now? Who is flying anywhere right now? Even if things become a little bit more normal, people are not suddenly going to be jumping into an airplane and fly somewhere and stay at some resort or something like that. I mean, it's just not going to be happening, or at least not in the amount that you think is going to be happening. Plus, if we are using the social distancing rule for like airplanes, for example, airplanes companies are not going to be profitable. So that's actually the biggest issue at all. Even if things go back to normal, but there's still the social distancing ruling on the airplanes. If your airplane is only filled with the appropriate social distancing rule, they are not profitable. So either they can double the price of a flight ticket, that's possible, of course, or they can basically stop their airlines, or they need subsidized or money from the government to be able to be flying profitably. That's basically the problem we are in at right now. The only lucky part that we are in right now is because oil is so cheap right now. The oil is super cheap right now, so that actually helps a little bit the transportation company. So that it's a good time to have cheap oil right now, to be honest. But yeah, that's not going to solve the whole problems when social distancing ruling is still going to be around. And that's what basically the biggest issue is, and that's one of the reasons why I'm really not really bullish on airplane flight company stocks right now. Because like I said, if that social distancing rules stays in line, it's impossible for an airplane company to be flying profitably. It's just not possible, except if they are changing some things in that. But if that social distancing rule stays, I would not be looking at airplane stocks. And I think that's one of the reasons why our good friend Warren Buffett is out of his or dumped his airplane stocks, because he just knew, right? I mean, he made the math. He was like, well, if the social distancing rules stays in and it's only 50% that can be on an airplane, then how can the airplane company be profitable? Are people going to be paying double the amount of price for a flight ticket in this time to be going flying somewhere and maybe get some COVID somewhere at some other country. Sorry, I don't think so. So that's why Warren Buffett just said, okay, it's time to dump some airplane stock, and I think he's right. So I even though of course. With the government now buying back all these stocks like Boeing and this and that, the stock price is moving up again. But that's purely because of the government buying up everything that they can. But is that going to be, like I said, they have already are at like $9 trillion or something like that. At one point, it's not going to be forever, right? So at one point, it's going to be a problem. Bankruptcies, and as you can see, this article is actually quite cool. You should definitely take a look at it as well. It's on Zero Hedge, and yeah, like I said, it's going to be a big problem in the future for sure. So next article, let's go into South America, where there's more problems. Brazil has actually overtaken Mexico in auto production, which is kind of funny because right now car production is like the worst industry you want to be in, because nobody is actually buying a car, because nobody is actually driving anywhere, right? So the amount of cars that are being sold right now is like at the very minimum level. Australia, I said there won't be social distancing. Wow, that's crazy. But once again, so Australia Airline is saying that there won't be social distancing. Will people be taking that risk, or will people be accepting that as well? If you would ask me, if I would be flying somewhere and they're telling me that there's no social distancing rule, I would probably not be flying. But even with social distancing rule, I'm probably not flying. So I'm a little chicken, right? I'm a scared little chicken. But yeah. It's going to be interesting. And it's a really big problem, because I am an avid traveler. I normally I travel every month somewhere. That's what I did for the past, I think, 3-4 years or something like that. Every month I flew to like some different country. So yeah, I was traveling around the world a lot until the COVID situation. Then suddenly I'm like a prisoner. So sad to say, but yeah. I really hope they will find a cure or a vaccine or something like that very, very soon, because this kind of lifestyle is just and definitely for somebody like me who loves to travel, it's just the worst. But then again, I can stream online, I guess. So I have to look at the bright side as well. But as we can see, Brazil has been focusing on domestic consumers and automakers, and they have projected sales will end in 2020 40% lower than a year ago. So exports fell 91% and plunged 95% in Mexico. That's just really crazy, right? So they have become big car producers, but really in the wrong year. Like, it's just Brazil is having a lot of problems, and in the future I think it's going to be more problems as well. Anyways, so we have South America. Let's go over to Europe. Well, good old Sweden. As we know, Sweden never took the social distancing rule, or never really took the lockdown or anything like that. And basically, now that they have the highest death rate in the world, they are the response of the chief of Sweden is actually, he says that he actually has some regrets right now. As you can see here, he's acknowledging that he sees potential for improvement in what we have done in Sweden. If we were to run into the same disease, knowing exactly what we know about it today, I think we would end up doing something in between what Sweden did and what the rest of the world has done. So Sweden is starting to having a little bit of regret that they completely did nothing. So that's it's a little bit too late for that, but let's see how things go, and hopefully it will become better, but right now it's pretty bad. Anyways, let's go to Asia. In Asia, there is a bill that's actually going to be saying that they're going to be delisting Chinese stocks. And that's going to be a big problem. The reason why they want to delist some Chinese stocks is actually, well, one is, of course, we have this trade war going between the US and China. I think that's the major issue. But the reason what they are saying is that the companies that are on the New York Stock Exchange from China are actually government owned, and if they are government owned and not privately owned companies, they should not be on the exchange, on the New York exchange or any US exchange or something like that. So they are claiming that these companies are actually owned by the government and pushed by the government and not really private owned. And now, yeah, there is a bill that can force those Chinese companies to give up their listings on American stock exchanges. And the US Senate has passed the legislation on Wednesday, and they told the clients already on Thursday morning. So that's going to be a very, very big problem, right? Because affected companies can be Alibaba, Baidu, Tencent, multi-billion dollar companies, right? So if this is going to be happening, I think very bad news for Chinese companies or Chinese listed stock companies as well. So take a good look on it and be prepared in case you have some Chinese owned companies stocks that can this could potentially affect your stock price quite a lot as well, right? So that is the news for today from most of the countries all around the world. Let's go into our beautiful little Bitcoin. Let's go to Bitcoin on the daily chart. Okay, we are on the daily chart. This is what happened this morning. We had, like I said, yesterday, maybe let's go on to the 4-hour chart. Yesterday we had a little pullback towards this green box here. But we kind of pushed back up really quickly this morning. As you can see, we pushed back up really quickly back into the higher, the 9.8k box, and until now, as you can see, until now we are still trending in between those two annoying green boxes that we have been forming for a really long time now already, right? It's been how many days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. 6 days. So almost a week that we have been in between those two green boxes. But this morning I did get myself into a position, so I am in a long position around 9.6k ish area. The reason why I'm in a long position is well, first of all, I saw that all the traditional markets and CME was pushing back up towards the top side, and that just basically remains for me quite bullish. Other than that, we can also see that we have formed some hidden bullish divergence if you are looking at the price. So if you can see here, from this point to this point here, from until yesterday, we can see that we formed a higher low on the price and we formed a lower low on the RSI, which means we have hidden bullish divergence. Let's go to our cheat sheet to confirm. Higher low on the price and lower low on the RSI. So seeing that we formed some hidden bullish divergence, I entered my position when we basically went back up above the EMA 55. So I waited, I saw the confirmation, we wicked down, and then when price started moving back up and we crossed over the EMA 55, that's when I basically, for me, that was a confirmation that we would be reverting. So that's basically where I entered my long. So I'm in a long at 9.6 because that was where the EMA 55 was at that point of time. 9.6k, I'm in a long, and looking at things, it just looks very good. I think that we'll be breaking the 10.5k or something like that. I still have my doubts that we'll be breaking, but I do think that we'll be swiping most likely somewhere around here, near the back towards the 10k ish area, something like that, and that's where I'll most likely be closing my long position from there. But like I said, we keep closing above the EMA 21 on the daily, making you know, making higher lows, I still think that is very, 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 very good structure. So yeah, I am leaning towards a push in the short term, very short term. Actually, if price is not going to be moving by tomorrow or something like that, I'll be closing my position most likely though, because it has to happen either today or tomorrow, and that's what's the HVP is telling us as well. So that's basically where I'm at right now. So I'm still in a long position, and as you can see right now, we're forming our beautiful doji candle right now. So for me, this is quite easy to be putting my stop loss. So if we go back to 9650, I'll just close my position right there. So take the $50 spread and run. that's basically the plan. So I'll have my stop loss at 9650 if we wick below that doji candle. Then I'm back out of my position, and I'll wait until something actually really happens, and which is a break either to the top side of this green box or either the downside of this green box. But for now, I'm leaning towards a more bullish side in the short term, at least for now. Also, we can see that the RSI is making quite a little bit of a bullish formation, some sort of like a head and shoulder, an inverse head and shoulders movement. So I do expect that we have a little bit of a little push as well up later on. Well, I kind of expect it today actually. With how things are moving. So I do believe that today later tonight, most likely in a couple of hours, I do believe that we'll have some sort of movement, and hopefully to the upside and not the downside for my position at least. Other than that, let's take a look on what did I wanted to show again. The weekly close. Yeah, let's take a look at the weekly close. The weekly close was actually quite good. Let's take a look on the higher time frames, as you can see here. So where does the weekly close end? Weekly close here, nicely, as you can see, nicely above. This is the most important thing. It went above the 9.7k. It stayed above. It closed above the 9.7k, which is a higher high in comparison with week in May 11 and May 18. And that for me is basically telling me that most likely we will have continuation of our trend, as well as the simple 10 moving average is now crossed the EMA 21, which is for me a bullish sign as well in the short term. So I believe that we'll most likely this week, it kind of has to happen this week, because the bulls have it in their control or their hands right now. So I think that will, at least swipe back up one more time towards the 10.5k. Do we break the 10.5k? Maybe, maybe not. But that's something that we'll have to see in real time. But for me, for now, I do believe that we'll swipe at least the 10.5k ish area once again before we see some pullback, because we have to be a little bit careful as well, though. Just taking a look at the Stokes right now, as you can see, it's still up there. It's still up there on the weekly. It's still up there, but it's starting to this is starting to waver as well. So time is kind of the essence here. Time is of the essence. Taking a look, and the most bearish thing that for me is the 3-day. Actually, if we look at the 3-day, it did bounce off the 10 simple moving average, which is positive in the show and for now, of course. But this is what worries me the most. This Stokes that are curling down right now. So if this would break this get rejected from the bullish zone and make a serious push down, then we'll have that downwards movement, right? So RSI cross is 9,719, but it's still above all the EMA and this and that. So short term, I still am leaning towards a push towards the upside first, rather than the downside. But do we break the 10.5k immediately? It's starting to become more and more doubtful that we'll be breaking the 10.5k immediately this time, at least at this time. But who knows? We will see when we get there, right? Let's take a look at some Hearst. Oh yeah, so yeah, this is still valid, of course. The distribution pattern of week of theory. We just have to wait if we do this and then maybe UTAT like this, something like that. That would be still valid in terms of like the week of theory. So a little bit of a boring, kind of a little bit of a boring sideways, but still, yeah. This week is going to be definitely some action is going to be happening. Actually, most likely even tonight or tomorrow. Actually, why tonight or tomorrow? Well, of course, the HFP is telling us a lot of things. But let's take a look at the expected move chart. Wait, before we go to expected move chart, let's define our ranges that I'm kind of expecting. So the top range, I would say like 10,000. Actually, this is the reason why I expect price to be going up towards around this order block here. Actually, this is what I'm expecting. So 10.1 ish area, something like that is what I'm expecting. Because if we make if we consider this like some sort of like a small triangle, we can make a measured move here from this part here, right? It would get after that breakout something like this, right, towards that top area. So that would be my target. So around the 10.1 area or something like that. And then for the downside, of course, still this area here, 9.450, something like that. So let's take a look what the expected moves are saying. Expected moves. And of course it crashes when I go to my expected moves. No, it's there. Up the side, oh, actually it's lower on the top side. First standard deviation to the top side is 9,974, so around the 10K area. And the downside, bottom side, first standard deviation on the downside is 9,519. So yeah, that's around the area that we are expecting. So it doesn't really break the bottom green box for me. So that gives me an edge, and that makes me actually a little bit more confident that we will be breaking towards the top side rather than the downside. But like I said, we formed our doji candle right now. Our risk is very, very well defined, and our position is very, very well defined as well, right? So it gives us more indication on what is going on. Stokes are curling up right now on the 12-hour. I think that's very big for me. So it gives me more confidence. That more confidence that will most likely be going towards the upside rather than downside. And as you can see right now, HVP is 1 right now on the 12-hour. So a move is coming. And since it's on the 12-hour, I'm expecting a move of like $600-700 or something like that. So a swipe back up to the 10.4 10.5k area would definitely not surprise me at all. Or we break down towards our 9k area, right? It's the other $600 or $700 move to the other side, because HVP obviously doesn't tell you imply any directions or anything like that. But yeah, it's I'm still more inclined towards the upside rather than the downside. Right now the RSI is still above the EMA as well, which is obviously a good thing, and it will break down. It's not that far away though, for 9,733. So we're very close. Let's take a look on the daily if we can see anything there. Daily Stokes are curling up, as we can see as well, which is huge because it was going down for like the past couple of days, right? So that's actually very big for me as well. So yeah, still more confirming towards the upside than the downside. Here, price is currently below the EMA, but it's just basically flat on the on the EMA right now. 9,756. So yeah, like $10 difference. It can basically do anything, right? So that doesn't tell us that much. So yeah, let's take a look on the 4-hour if we can see something on the 4-hour. Oh yeah, here we can see that what I expected is in case that we would get a rejection is that we would not break into this sort of like a bear flag, I guess. So some rejection here like this. That's what I kind of was expecting. But as you can see, we are way back into and it looks very, very positive right now, going up towards our bullish control zone, and once again on the 4 hour. So yeah, once again, that makes me more bullish in the short term than bearish. Then let's take a look on the RSI. On the RSI is still above the EMA, and cross down price is 9,717. So yeah, that basically, if we went over everything, basically tells me like short term I'm still more bullish than bearish. Do I think that we will be swiping the 10.4k or 10.5k? That's basically what I'm expecting now, but it kind of has to happen later tonight or by tomorrow or something like that, because the HVP cannot be stay flashing forever. Let's put it like that. There's going to be some action happening, and I think it's going to be later tonight, to be honest, rather than tomorrow. But yeah, it can still happen tomorrow as well, of course. But yeah, it's not going to be that big, the move, because of this. The amount of time that we have contracted is not that high or anything like that. So I expect maybe like $500 move or something like that, $500-600. So yeah, 10.3. I'm happy with 10.3. I'm happy with 10.3. Let's see when we break this zone. This is the first resistance ish, because this is where we broke down. But realistically, I wanted to go all the way here, like to the 10.250 ish area or something like that. But we'll figure it out when it's happening in real time. Okay, so short term still bullish, macro long term still bullish as well, with the weekly that is showing. But do I think that we will still have that pullback towards, like, the 8.8k area? I do believe that we will get it, but maybe not this week just yet. Maybe this week we'll still have some bullish momentum. Lock in all these FOMO people at, like, when we are crossing the 10k once again, and then put the hammer of Thor down on their faces or something like that. That's a very big probability. Let's put it like that. But for now, short term, I am more bullish than bearish. But yeah, nothing that's special or anything like that for now. Yep. What else did I wanted to show? Well, let's go to our Hearst. Hearst cycle top is saying here 10,055 on the top side. It is actually starting to slow down, but contracting actually, because the bottom is also going up. Bottom is at 9,150 right now, so it's contracting. When it does contract, it means that there is going to be a big move coming as well, right? So yeah, this also implies that there is going to be some action that is going to be happening, and most likely it's going to be happening this week, to be honest. Kind of has to. We cannot be going sideways into this formation for too long. That's why I'm saying, like, it kind of has to happen in the next couple of days for the bulls, because if not, it's going to get too tired, and then we'll definitely get that pullback towards the 8.8k, 8.9k or something like that. But for now, like I said, still expecting to the top side rather than the downside. Something else maybe that we can look at is the amount of longs and shorts. I want to see how many longs there is right now. Right now, 72% and 27% overall. But if we are looking at, like, just Binance, for example, what the fuck? Binance 51 and 48 on Binance, and then for BitMEX it's 67 and 32. It's actually Bitfinex that has the highest amount of longs versus the amount of shorts. So that's where the craziest people are. Apparently a lot of longs there. But yeah, it did went down a little bit, the amount of longs. So yeah, maybe let's take a look on some on-chain if we have if there's like a huge amount of like Bitcoin moving into exchanges. Let's take a look. So we had a transfer here of 2,177, and here actually a few 1,000, and then 1,300 just now, like 15 minutes ago. So maybe something is going to be happening. Let's see the outflows. Is there anything out? No, not many bitcoins that are flowing out. So yep, a lot of more and more bitcoins are coming in, are going in, but a lot of it has been used actually to be longing, right? Has been used actually to be longing rather than shorting. So doesn't really 100% tell us the whole picture or anything like that. But for now, TA perspective, I don't think you can be bearish. You can't be bearish when the price is still above all moving averages, still above EMA 21 and etc. I don't think you can be bearish at all, right? Weekly close was really positive as well. It looks like continuation to me. Looking at traditional markets, it's a skyrocket to the top, right? It's a skyrocket to the top. So don't think there's any problems at all for now. So yeah, short term bullish in a position. We'll be closing most likely around this area here. At least try. There will be some resistance already on this area here, which is normal. We have a block, an order block here, small order block there. But I do believe that with the HVP, if we get up there, we'll most likely be heading maybe even towards the green box all the way. But I'll play it a little bit safer and most likely be closing my positions already around this area here if we get up there. If we break down, my stop loss is right here at this beautiful doji on the bottom. If we break down 9,650, I'll just take my $50 spread and call it a day, and then wait for further movement. I'm not going to be switching it into a short or anything like that as long as we are holding this green box here, not going into a short or anything like that. If we do break down below this green box, I'll be entering a short from that position in. So yeah, if we start closing below this this green box, then basically time to short. And most likely I'll be aiming towards this area here, the 8.850 ish area, something that we have been talking about for a long time also already, but it still has not happened because we have been going sideways, right? So yeah, that's the plan. We are in a position. We are waiting for to make some money, hopefully. So short term bullish, long term bullish as well. Midterm, I am not that bullish. Like I said, I do expect at one point that we'll be making that retracement back towards the 8.8k ish area, when the traditional markets also are taking a little bit of a breather. But as long as S&P and Nasdaq is rallying, I don't have a problem with it at all to be longing. I mean, yeah, still bullish here, at least in the short term. But yeah, I do believe that once we get our Stokes back up here, then most likely time for some retracements. But price can be at 10.5k then by then, hopefully. I don't give out any information on that, Aldrich. $1. I longed for $1. So Pledit is saying that Bitcoin has been going sideways for 6 weeks. It's not really 6 weeks. 6 weeks. It has been going into an uptrend for 6 weeks, though. It's not you can't call this sideways, right? It is an uptrend. 6 weeks. Yeah, it has been making higher highs, right, and lower highs. So higher lows. Sorry, not lower highs, higher lows. So it's a good sign, I think. Is China being honest about the corona static? Who knows, man? Who knows? But I mean, are there a lot of honest people in this world? I mean, I don't think of course, maybe they're telling some truth. Some parts of the truth is always the truth, I guess. But I'm pretty sure they're not telling everything. So who knows, man? Who knows? But yeah, I think that's it for today. I think I've gone over everything that I wanted to say. Oh, maybe a little bit over gold. So yeah, gold is actually doing less well because the stock market is is doing good, right? And gold is a hedge, or is inversely correlated to the stock market. So the stock market is doing well, but overall, long term, I'm still, like I said, I'm still bullish on gold. But I do believe that this looks like it's going to head down. So I exited my position actually on gold. I think that this is going to be pulling down a little bit, I think. I still think that gold is going to be pulling down a little bit, maybe towards like I would be looking at, of course, this area. That's a little bit too low. This area here, this order block here. So I think it's going to be pulling back to like around that area, 1625, something like that, 1625 or something like that. So yeah, 1625. Because of the stocks that keeps going up, so maybe form some sort of like a bullish falling wedge or something like that, and then push back up, something like that. But overall, I mean, long term, I'm not bearish on gold as well, and I don't really like gold at all. But I do believe that most likely this was a local top here. This was a local top here, and we are slowly going a little bit down on gold, I think, because all the money is just going into Nasdaq and S&P and stuff like that, right? So I think gold is going to make a little pullback over the next couple of days or something like that. I think so. It's struggling right now. Yeah, it is struggling right now. That's why I'm saying like it has to kind of happen within today, tomorrow, something like that. But I think it's just waiting for opening of the New York Stock Exchange. So I think when the New York Stock Exchange is opening, I think we're going to be breaking that 9.8K green box. That's what I'm thinking. At least that's what I'm hoping. Like I said, everything is looking good. We have some sort of like a inverse head and shoulders pattern forming on the RSI. And I do put quite a lot of value on patterns on the RSI rather than on the price, actually, when it comes to patterns. So kind of think that that it looks like it wants to be breaking. Also, as you can see, we keep forming higher lows, and we're holding the trend line quite well, right? If we are looking on the line chart, take a look here, we can see it very clearly here, right? Here, something like that. So looks good. It looks really good for me. So if we are not looking at the wicks, of course, keeps going up, finding higher lows. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. It kind of depends on where this 4 hour stokes are at. If it gets too toppy or something like that, I'll just close it down and take my profits. But I do expect, because the HVP is flashing, right? And yeah, I put a lot of value in the HVP, so I do believe that we'll get to that 10.2k ish, 10.250 or something like that. I think we're gonna get, if we break through that 9.8k, I think we're gonna get there. But that's a big if, of course. Right, that's a big if. But yeah, like I said, as long as we are above 9650, sorry, here, sorry, if we are above 9650, I still think things looking good. But it kind of has to happen. Today, tomorrow, something like that, or else momentum will be gone, and then that crash towards the 8.8k or 8.9k can easily happen as well. But for now, like I said, I don't think you can be too bearish when things are looking like this, at least for me. So yeah, I think that wraps it up for today. I hope everybody is aware or what is happening. So short term, bullish in a position right now in a long from 9.6. After I saw some hidden bullish divergence and we rebroke the EMA 55 on the 4-hour chart. That's when I waited for that to confirm the bullish divergence, obviously, and that's when I entered. We'll be closing my position at 9650 if we basically break down and make a lower low, then for me that's over. All right, sorry, on the 4-hour chart, not on the here on the 4-hour chart, of course, not on the daily chart. Here, when we get that, then I'll be closing my position, take the $50 profits and call it a day. But I do believe that we are going to be seeing some movement, and most likely somewhere around here is where I'll be taking some profits, 10.2k ish or something like that. That's where I'm expecting that it will be going. But let's see, let's see what happens. And I will only start thinking about shorting once we start closing some candles below this green box here. So the same strategy that we've been talking about for like 4 or 5 days now already. If it does break down below this green box, I'll be shorting it and aiming towards this area here where we have the bottom of our bullish, well, up sideways, but a little bit up channel. That's basically it, and that's the whole master plan. And if we do get up here, on the 10.5k, then most likely I'll be entering a short, because I think we'll be once again RSI and everything is going to be very toppy once again. We'll have to be looking at our indicator. Of course, we can see it here on this indicator. When we see this toppy signal, then I'll be entering a short. If not, I won't be entering a short. So if this flashes, then I'll be entering a short. If it doesn't flash, I won't be entering a short, because if it does break the 10,550, something that we've been talking about for a long time as well, if it does break above the 10,550, then I will instantly click that along, and I'll be aiming for the 11.5k. But that's something that we've been talking about for the past week as well. So yeah, but that's the whole plan. So we have everything set. I mean, we are fully prepared. At least I am fully prepared for whatever is happening. But yeah, short term still bullish. Medium term a little bit less bullish. Medium term, when I'm talking to medium term, I'm talking about in the next couple of weeks. Long term, monthly, that's when I'm talking about monthly basis, I'm bullish as well, because the monthly close was good, the weekly close was good. So macro, still bullish. Midterm, a little bit more bearish, because I do believe that we'll have at least a small pullback, $1,500 pullback, a bullish dump, how would they call it? But short term, still bullish. Whew, that covered everything, right? Did that cover everything? Okay, that covered everything. Anyways, happy to spend another hour with you guys here for today. Hopefully tomorrow we can give you some more updates. Same time, same place, YouTube live or Facebook live, 7:30 p.m. UTC plus 8. Hope to see you once again tomorrow. Please like, share, comment, whatever you want to do on this channel, because I'm doing this for myself, but also a little bit for you guys. A little bit, just a little bit. Okay. So, and as